hard.
Keep going.
So this race is called the Catch Jerry Chile. It's 5 miles, you can walk or run, and the goal is to catch Jerry Chile. That's Jerry's child. Jerry is this gentleman's mother, and we try and catch him and try and overtake him if possible. He sets off 10 seconds ahead of everybody, and then the race starts. It also raises money for quite a few local charities on the island.
Thank you so much for your continued support for this organization. Coming. One.
Good morning.
2, 3. Right, let's go.
So mile 1, the goal was just to not go out too fast like I did last year and stay anything around 7:48 pace. And I managed 7:43. This is the airport runway and it's a turnaround spot. Nice sunrise. So miles 2 and 3, I kind of drifted off the pace a bit. I was deliberately trying to take it steady, but then I kind of went a bit slower than my target pace, and mile 2 was 7:55 minute a mile pace, and mile 3 8 minute a mile pace. I ate half a bagel about an hour and a quarter before the race, and I felt like this didn't sit well in my stomach, so I wish I'd had a little bit less or eaten it a little bit earlier. Mile 4, I managed to hit my target pace and averaged 7.8 minute miles, although that's the average. Actually, when I look at it, my pace was all over. It's much slower or much faster, but the average was good. Mile 5 was really tough, but I managed a 7.46 average minute mile pace. Hard.
Keep going.
So the final time on my watch was 42 minutes 42 seconds, and that was for just under 5.5 miles, and that was about 10 seconds faster than last year. I did start my watch a little bit later this year, so I don't know if that affected my overall time, but I did seem to run it about 2 seconds per mile faster, so I was happy with that. 1 second slower than my target pace. I really wanted to average 7.48 per mile, but pretty close. And I did see my watch was 39.05 as I passed the 5 mile mark, so I'm happy with that for my 5 mile pace. These numbers are a little bit hard to read, but I was happy that I paced my race better this year. Last year, you can see in the far right column, I started off fast, then slowed right down, then threw in a quicker mile at mile 4, and then sped up a little bit for the final 2 miles, whereas this year I went out a little bit steadier and then a little bit up and down, but then I did speed up and get a couple of negative splits at the end there.
The idea of Catch Jerry Child is for every year that we have this event, Jerry's Child, he goes out first. He not only goes out first before the race, he goes out first in donating a major portion of the contributions that are made to the organization. Okay, in second place, Kate Armstrong with 42 minutes, 52 seconds.
Take 2 steps forward for me. 2 steps forward. There we go.
So it's now Sunday, the day after the race, and I am on a bike ride, walking now, obviously, and doing a recce for the Banks Road Beast. So I've rode as far as I can along the Banks Road, and then I'm seeing if this path is going to be possible to run on, because after lots of careful measuring, I've realised that I'm 2 miles short for the 50k. I need to be 32 and it's only 30 along my route. This is actually looking promising. Thought I was going to need to come in here and cut some stuff back to make it work. Actually, I wasn't going to do that. If I needed to do that, I was going to find somewhere else, but it'd be awesome if I could come along here. So this week was kind of all focused towards the 5 mile race. I tried to kind of keep going with the 50k training. So I did 15 mile bike ride on Monday, and that was checking out the 50k route going in southerly direction. So kind of kept things moving with that by doing that. Then Tuesday I did my regular workout. I'll show that to you now. I did record that. Then Wednesday, 3 miles, pushed the pace a tiny bit, but I was really holding back, making sure I didn't irritate my quad. And then Thursday, Friday, the surf was actually really fun, so I just surfed. Friday, I tried to not surf too much so that I was fresh for Saturday. And that was my week. I felt of a deload week from the 50k, and then on Saturday kind of undid all the benefits of that by pushing it on the 5 mile. But anyway, you found out you really can't train for 2 different goals at once, and yeah, have to compromise on both of them. But now my head is back into 50k training. I need to get a mile along this path that is runnable. The problem is, if this isn't runnable, I have to then do a dogleg mile out on a tarmac road, out and back in the full sun. And I know it's exactly a mile, I know exactly which stretch I need to do that on, and I know I hate it. I hate it on the bike, let alone doing it running in the middle of a 50k, and it would actually be quite a hot part of the day when I'd be doing it. So this would be much better. Also at the race, I talked to people about the 50k, see if there was any interest in joining me. There were a couple of people, but they're going to be away. But I do have a few people that are going to join me for bits of it. So I think I kind of see how it's going to work, and I can get moving a bit more with planning it and figuring out logistics. So I'm happy with how the 5 mile went. I don't feel too bad today. My ankle was a bit puffy after the race yesterday, but that calmed down this morning, but it's still feeling a bit fragile. That's why I went for the bike. And my quad held up and feels fine today. So that was all a bit of a relief. It was kind of weird going into it, not really knowing if I was going to be able to push the pace. I really had to hold myself back during the week from testing out my quad, and that paid off. This is all quite nice. And I think I only really beat my pace by about 10 seconds, but I'm okay with that. Last year I did 6 weeks of a 5 mile 8k specific training plan, which all went really well. And obviously this time I've been just training for long distance and really hardly done any fast running at all. Wow, this is actually really pretty. Let me show you. Oh, look at that beach. I don't even know how you'd get to that. I have run down here before, but I really don't remember it very well at all. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. You can get down here. Alright, I have to go check this out. Okay, I made it another way. This is so pretty. Let me show you something. Okay, back to staying focused and checking out this trail. I think this is awesome, but I do need a mile out of it. Whatever, I'm gonna run it anyway. This is so pretty. Awesome. So next week, I need to get back on track with my 50k training. So tomorrow, I'm going to try and do about 8 miles in the morning, and then get back to my normal schedule. Maybe break up the long run next weekend over 2 days so that I'm not jumping back up to the long mileage too quickly. Should be doing 15 miles, but maybe I'll do that over 2 days. I'll see how the week goes. Ankle's not feeling great, so I'll just play it by ear. Okay, and I think I have to call it a day there. I didn't quite get a mile. So sad, but that will cut down on the road running that I'll have to do for sure. Nice. All right, that is everything, I think. That will be about a 15-mile bike ride with a bit under a mile of it as a walk. Catch up with you next week.